Greetings Brusketeers! Following on from my previous video in which I showed a method for a faux aged lettering via pigment dilution, I will now demonstrate a slightly different way to produce a similarly subtle aged effect on your hand lettering. This time by utilising the dry brush method, and no need for sandpaper. What about you? John Boy from Titanic Town Science School at your service. As with most of my commissions, the process for the signwriting of this 1970 Bedford truck began with a few back and forth phone calls, messages, etc. Basically establishing type of job, location of vehicle, timeline, etc. And with a family member of the client providing me with this AI generated suggestion of what he wanted, I was then able to proceed to site at the prearranged time. On arrival, and after a brief verbal confirmation of the wording, etc., I immediately began the marking out. Using only a folding rule along with my chalk line and a stick of white chalk, I use a mixture of layout methods, as shown in many of my previous videos. I won't repeat myself again here, so if you're really interested, you're welcome to search my back catalogue for various hints and tips. I will, however, reiterate that the very first thing that should be done with regards to the laying out is to find the vertical centre of the relevant working area, and then establish a horizontal midpoint from which all the other measurements will originate. The upper and lower arcs are kept to the same radius by simply reversing the position of the taut chalk line compass. An equal distance above or below the midpoint is required. Once the scratch layout has been repeated on the other cab door, I am ready to start the lettering. As there are still some traces of 50-plus-year-old lettering visible on the vehicle, my instructions are to try and match the colours and aging to this as best as I can. So with this in mind, I lighten a standard imitation gold enamel with a good dollop of white. A high gloss finish to this lettering would be extremely undesirable, and as I do not have access to any dedicated matting agents, etc., I will need to employ a few on-the-job tricks to replicate the aged signwriting. Here I am adding slightly more catalyst to the mix than the normally recommended 10%. This can help to reduce the high gloss of the paint. The fully stirred mixture can then be thinned to the required consistency with white spirit. I will be using a rather worn number 6 brush for this lettering, and although I am freestyling here, I would not hold it against you this time if you were to use whatever form of pre-drawn template that you may be most comfortable with when attempting this for yourself. The dry brush nature of this method can severely hinder the natural workability of a pure sable lettering brush, so having the letter forms fully drawn out on the substrate beforehand should make things a lot easier. It is important to remove as much paint as possible from the bristles before committing to each stroke, whilst at the same time trying to retain the brush's sharp chisel edge. This can be tricky enough and will probably take a few goes to get it right, but the beauty of this aging method is that the distressing will be totally random, compared with the really forced, contrived appearance of the sanded through photinas so ubiquitous on social media. Try and use the tip of the brush with as light a touch as possible, and try to use as few strokes as possible. The relative lack of paint on the hairs will inevitably lead to some slight raggedness to the edges of the strokes, but this will only serve to enhance the worn effect. So, within reason of course, allow it to take its natural course and use it to your advantage. And remember, unlike the Hollywood-esque style sanded through lettering, with real-time aging all lettering will not wear evenly. And so, with this repeated on the other side of the vehicle, it is time to add the shadow. The red paint is prepared in a similar fashion to the gold. A number 4 pure red sable lettering pencil will be used to add a one-stroke angled away shadow to all the lettering. The one-stroke nature of this shading will not result in as noticeable a distressed effect as the built-up lettering, but this is not a problem, as red enamel sign written on a dark blue substrate would typically be kept on the thicker stride anyway, and therefore would not wear at the same rate as the gold. So this will not be incongruous to the overall effect. the shading completed on both cab doors, I adjust the layout to suit the size and shape of the rear of the truck's body. This body is a relatively recent addition to the truck, with a relatively new paint job, so a lesser aged appearance to the signwriting is desirable, allowing for the use of a more loaded brush, but still not aiming for full coverage. This inch-high lettering is one stroke above the fuel cap. It is always best to keep instructions and warnings etc. as simple and unadorned as possible. So that just leaves a few coach lines to add to the cab doors and body. These will be done with an oxhair coach liner, which is sometimes called an English coach liner, and the same imitation gold enamel. I find these tear-off paper artists' palettes really handy for this type of thing. A shorter haired lining brush is used to add a traditional scroll design to the front of the cab. And with a tribute to the former owner of the truck, who actually got it up and running again, added beneath the cab's rear window, we're almost finished. And finally, a dusty rag is whipped briskly over the still wet paint to tone down any gloss, as well as removing the chalk lines. Well, I hope you've enjoyed and more importantly learnt something from this video. So thanks for watching, and please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. You never know, you might just learn something.